Okay guys, welcome back to AKFPL. This is the Game Week 17 preview. So in this game week, we're going to be talking about the impact COVID has had on our FPL teams, tips we can use to sort of navigate the current situation. We're going to talk about captaincies and key fixtures. So we're just going to look back on Game Week 16. Now, this was a bit of a banana skin game week for a lot of people because the Everton and Man City game were cancelled, as well as the Fulham and Tottenham game. So, I had two Man City players and a Spurs player. So I had three players who didn't play this game week. And the worst part was I've got no playing bench. So essentially I played the game week with 8 players. And that gave me a score of 39, which actually was still above average. The average was 37 across the whole game. But obviously people around my rank had better scores than me, so that I still saw a bit of a rank drop. So I was 52k, and after this week I've gone down to 77k. So I'm actually not too disappointed by the rank decrease, purely because for having 8 players out and still managing to get somewhat of a decent haul, I'm pretty pleased with. So it could be a lot worse. So we'll just go through where most of the points came from. And Dallas got 12 points. He was my top point scorer. And I said on the last game week, if you haven't had Dallas, he's a really, really good option, not just for the current fixtures, but also for the double game week and also for the fixtures beyond. So again, I'm just going to stress that if you don't have Dallas, just get him in. He's just such a strong option. The other player that got me points was Bamford. Bamford, again, just really good value. Just so involved in all of Leeds' attacks. Leeds in general, just scoring loads of goals. So I am looking to actually get in a third Leeds player, which I'll discuss a bit later. So apart from that, Salah blanked second time in a row. It's a bit disappointing. But most of the game, Captain Salah, so didn't really make a difference there. Fernandes got an assist, so he's ticking along. Everyone else just didn't really get me any points. But like I said, could have been a lot worse. So now let's look to Game Week 17 and hope that's a little bit better. So Game Week 17, so Man City have tweeted that they've resumed training again. So it looks like the Chelsea-Man City game will be going ahead. So if we look for any of the key fixtures in Game Week 17, I think one that stands out a lot is Spurs versus Leeds. And I'm really not sure how that game's going to turn out. Obviously, Leeds are going to just attack like they normally do. But I think Spurs are going to look at Leeds and think, let them attack us. We're just going to sit back and get them on the counter, knowing that they're quite weak at the back. So I think Mourinho is going to look at that game and just sort of sit back and sort of let Leeds come at him and then just get them on the counter. So I don't think it's going to be a massive goal fest. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I can see sort of Spurs nicking this one 1-0, or it might even be a 1-1, something like that. So that is one of the key fixtures, I think. I think Spurs could they could probably get a goal or two in that, but I don't think it's going to be too high scoring. The other main fixture is probably Leicester versus Newcastle. Leicester have had a bit of a break from their last game, and Vardy's had a bit of a break, so if you've got Vardy, that's a really good shout for captaincy. And if we actually look at the captaincies, most people are going to either captain a Spurs player, or if they've got Vardy, they might even captain Vardy. I think if you've got Spurs players, Kane and Son are pretty good shouts, because if Spurs score a goal, it's probably going to come from one of them. I think if you've got players like Zaha, who are at home to Sheffield United, he's a good option. Other options are Fernandes at home to Villa, but the only problem with that is Fernandes is at home. His hauls normally come away from home, and Villa are really good defensively. They're not giving up many big chances. The other potential captaincy option is Salah, but Southampton again are a good defensive unit. They're not really giving up many good chances, and I think most people are going to be put off by Salah because he blanked in the last 2. But I don't think it's that bad of an option really. There's something nice about captaining the last player in a game week as well. It always gives you something to sort of hang on to in case the rest of your game week isn't going that great. So I'm just going to talk you through what I'm planning on doing for game week 17. So obviously we need to keep our eyes on the football news, especially what's happening with all these postponed fixtures, where they're going to be postponed to. Are they going to come before game week 19 or after game week 19? We did get news from the one of the Amazon correspondents for Prime Video, who said that both Everton and Man City and the Tottenham Fulham game will be rearranged, but they didn't really confirm a date, so we need to keep our eyes peeled for that. Regardless of the fact that all these fixtures are being postponed, I still need to just expand my bench a bit, because I don't want to go into another week where I've just got 8 players playing for me. So this is my team at the moment. So I've got Martinez in goal, and there's my back line. Taylor is injured, which is really frustrating because I specifically bought him in for these good run of fixtures that Burnley have. So I need to find out what I'm going to do with them. So currently I've got 2 free transfers and 1.1 million in the bank. So my provisional plans at the moment are to take De Bruyne out and get in Rafinha, because I think Rafinha is a good option, mainly because everyone's got Bamford. So Bamford is not really a differential anymore. Everyone's got him. Everyone's going to have him for the double game week and beyond. So I'm thinking of ways of getting in a differential in this Leeds attack, and I think Rafinha is a really good option. He's only 1.8% owned, and he's starting to get the points. Had a bit of a slow start, but now I think he's becoming really, really involved and gelled in this Leeds attack. So I'm probably going to get Rafinha in for Kevin De Bruyne. With that money, I'm going to look to getting in a striker, and my initial choice is going to be Jamie Vardy, who I might even just be captaining this week. I've still got 1.4 in the bank. Now, I could just use the 2 free transfers and just leave it there, because I have got a playing back line of Cancelo, Dallas and Kufal. But the only thing is, I don't think it's a good idea playing Dallas in this fixture. I just think Leeds are going to concede. It might be by 1 goal or 2 goals, but I don't think it's a great fixture for Dallas. So I'm going to look to upgrading my non-playing 5th defender and getting in Justin. Justin has a good fixture to Newcastle, and he's playing in the double game week as well. So that's currently my thinking at the moment. That would cost me a -4, but essentially I'm taking out Kevin De Bruyne, and I'm getting in 2 other players, filling in for 2 players who weren't actually playing. So I've got a pretty good bench now, and I'm pretty well set up for the double game week as well. Obviously, this could all change depending on what happens in the football news over the next sort of day or two. If for whatever reason games get put into the next game week, for example, if the Man City game gets put into game week 17, Man City then have a double game week, I'm probably going to hold De Bruyne. So these are just sort of provisional plans at the moment. I think I just want to end the video by just talking about some general tips to deal with the current situation. Don't captain and vice captain a player playing on the same team, because if that fixture then gets cancelled, then you've lost your captaincy entirely. So always make sure that you've got 2 different captains and vice captains from different teams. The other thing is, leave your transfers for as long as possible. Once you get all the information on which matches are going ahead, definitely which matches are potentially being cancelled, because the last thing you want to do is transfer in players who then don't play. And I know the temptation is to always check the price rises and make sure you're getting there in time. But I think right now it's just such a volatile situation. You just need to be as patient as you can. And the last tip is obviously have a playing bench, as we saw this week, where it really did pay off having players come off the bench and giving you points. So that's one of the tips that I'm going to be taking forward for next week, and start using my transfers to expand my bench a bit. So thanks for listening. That's it for now. Please give the video a like, subscribe. This channel is still in development, so any feedback on ways in which this video can be improved or the channel could be improved would be really good. You can follow me on Twitter. You can find me at @AKFPL, where I'll be posting more on there. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you in the next game week.